What's going on, everyone, and welcome back to the final race of the ROUSH Performance World Tour Series here at Nurburgring. And man, I am so excited. Let me tell you guys, the point standings is super close, and anyone can take home that hardware and those huge prizes from our partners at Continental Tire and Haggerty. We are super excited to have you guys back. Here is the final race of the Sprint Series, and we are excited to have you guys back and getting ready to put on the action. You guys are going to see 170 turns in one lap, 15 miles, and these guys, we're looking at the qualifying times, and they are pretty close. So it's going to be exciting to talk a little bit about that. Joining me in the booth tonight is going to be Joey Atterbury, Harold Darner, and from Sports Car Unleashed podcast, Rich Hall. All right, guys, before we go green, we're going to listen to our friends here for the national anthem.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight, oh, the were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner
All right, and here is that starting grid sponsored by Continental Tire. Joey Atterbury, why don't you tell us a little bit about this track? All right, guys, if you are just now tuning in to the ROUSH Performance World Tour Series here at Nurburgring, we're going to make a quick adjustment here with the audio, and we'll get right back to the broadcast.
And they
so he was one
from.
Okay, so he's being towed.
Yeah.
I saw Paul's off, right?
Yes.
Yep, we can hear you.
You're okay. Just do your thing. We'll keep commentating. Oh, we got Paul Darling off.
And Ron takes the lead.
Yeah. I actually think that's Paul Slavonic out front. Paul Slavonic followed by Jordan Musser, followed by Rob Holland.
Okay, Rob's behind them. Okay.
Yep. Yeah, and Jordan's loose. Oh, Jordan. Oh, Rob goes off. Rob wrecked it. Oh,
wow, Jordan.
Wrecked. I mean, he just got in too hot.
Paul Darling's car is all wrinkled on the left side.
I mean, guys, yeah, this is shaping up.
is the broadcasting system we use. It's open.
Okay.
Cool.
Okay.
All right, cool.
All
cool.
right, guys. Sorry about that quick interruption there with audio, but it looks like we are up and running, and we are following our leader, Paul Slavonic. All right, Joey. I did ask you earlier on before we had this little issue, but I asked you a little bit about the track. Why don't you tell us while we follow up with the leader, Paul Slavonic?
Yeah, definitely. We are at the Nurburgring combined circuit. That means we're using the GP plus the Nordschleife. I believe it's a little over 15, 16 miles, 170 turns. It's an 8-minute lap around this place. I think pole was 7 minutes 51 seconds. Our top 7 was actually within 2% of each other. I think if we pull up some of this Herald Cam action from lap 1, we might have some pretty exciting action to show you guys.
All right, let's pull the Herald Cam here.
You know, I know that some of our front runners, including Jordan Musser, resident pro at the Nürburgring, Rob Holland, and even Paul Darling have all made it to the guardrail in the first lap. Paul Slavonic, who is a series regular, series race winner, very fast guy. He is out front right now with about a 3.5 second gap over second place. Paul Darling, who managed to find his way out of that guardrail, and I think he's hunting the other Paul down for the lead right now.
Yeah, there was a lot going on there with no sound. All I seen was cars heading off the track, some bumping, some grinding. But yeah, it looks like, as Joe, you were saying, that top 5. There's 5th place, Jordan Musser. That's our current leader here, point standings leader, and hanging on to that 5th place. So what happened? As we're going to work on getting that Herald Cam to you guys.
Yeah, no, I think it was a variety of different incidents. I saw that Matt Christie was involved as they were getting out onto the Nordschleife, and then there was a nice train of the front 5 guys, and Paul Darling went off first, and then Jordan Musser went off next, and then Rob Holland went off after that, and Paul Slavonic was there to collect the pieces of all the carnage.
Oh man, that's a tough break this early on in the race, and especially with Jordan, he's had a really consistent series.
Definitely, you know, Jordan is our current points leader. He didn't lose at all. He's still in 5th place back there, it looks like. So he's still lapping around, and we have some faster pairs. So as long as these guys got back to pit lane, they can pull in the pits. Their imaginary pit crew comes out, slaps together some brand new body panels, and off they go.
All right, let's see if we can. That's one thing I kept asking myself. I was like, I'm curious if we're going to see any battles going on at a track of this length. I mean, Joey, coming from the race world and being a driver, coming out to a track that obviously has a lot more length, are you going to typically run close to guys, or, I mean, what does that look like?
Yeah, I think it really varies depending on the field and the cars, but you're always going to have your sharp end where the guys are going to be racing. Now, with it being as long as it is, it definitely gets more spread out. As we saw in qualifying, 7 minutes 51 was our pole time. I believe, let's check here, our final time was 8 minutes and 43 seconds. So there is quite a big gap over the huge fields, but we're going to see groups of cars. We'll see 2 or 3 cars together, and a lot of cars running by themselves. But one thing with this Nordschleife, guys, as you see, it is narrow. One little mistake can put you at the back.
Definitely, and we're seeing that. All right, we're right along with Jack Roush Jr. Looks like Jack sneaking in that top 10 here on lap 2, sporting that ROUSH Performance 4GT.
Guys, let me give a little props to Jack Roush Jr. here. I know that he's been putting in a lot of time in practice, and he was actually in the simulator for a couple hours before this race started. So he was doing everything he could to make sure that his head is down and in the game for tonight.
Yeah, Jack, and yeah, again, just as you said, it's props to Jack, because he's not only trying to make this one all happen to get us all together and put on a show, but he also needs to find time to get in and practice. But right now, running this top 10 looks like he's running a really clean, smooth lap here.
Definitely, Jack has been doing all of the races with us here in the Sprint Series, and he hangs out between, usually 10th and 15th place, but he's up inside the top 10 at the most difficult track we're going to. So props to you, dude.
All right, guys, we're going to go to a quick commercial break, and then we're going to come back to the action here at Nurburgring.
Luke here from ROUSH Performance. We're at the Continental Proving Grounds in Uvalde, Texas, doing a little development testing for our 2020 Mustang. Stick around and see what we got planned.
Here at Continental Tire's Proving Grounds with ROUSH, so that we can go through and get some testing done and to prove out their vehicles, prove out our tires at the same time.
And some of the testing we've done today, we've done some lateral G testing, we've done some cornering work, some wet braking, and then some road handling for the tires as well. So all that goes into the overall finished ROUSH Mustang that we try to deliver to our customers, so that you've got a vehicle that you can drive year-round in any type of weather. The Continental Extreme Contact Sport tire has been hands down one of the biggest improvements that we've been able to add to the vehicle chassis. I think overall the customer will be really happy with their Mustang when they've got these tires on their car.
Anybody in the market can buy the same tires, put it on their vehicle, and increase their performance.
The customer will be able to take their everyday street tire and go right to the racetrack. And this is kind of what we were looking for when we partnered with Continental on the tire for the Mustang.
We chose ROUSH because of their name, and their name means performance. Continental Tire means performance, and we're trying to connect the two brands and make 1 and 1 equal 4. We're going after the best performance out there.
We just wanted that ultimate tire, and just an obvious blend between racing and street that we want to provide for our customers with our Mustang products.
All right, and back to the action here. As you guys just checked out that spot from Continental Tire, they were actually testing the tire out in Uvalde, Texas at the Continental Tire Testing Center. We were actually testing the Extreme Contact Sport tire that is equipped on all of our ROUSH Performance Stage 3 Mustangs. And talk about capability. Holy cow, that really brought out the capability of our vehicle. I mean, we knew what it had the potential to do, but you need a good set of tires underneath you to really show that potential. So we were able to go out there, test the tire in all different types of, there was the wet track, there was straight line braking, the high speed ring. So it was really cool to be able to see that tire get pushed to the absolute max. So if you guys are in the market for a new set of tires for your performance vehicle, head over to continentaltire.com. And actually, right now, if you guys see up here on the screen, you guys can get $70 off, $70 Visa prepaid card with the purchase of 4 qualifying passenger tires. All you have to do is head over to continentaltire.com/promotions, and it's going on now till November 30th. So take advantage of that. That's huge. And you can take that $70 and take someone out to lunch, make their day, and you get a new set of tires. So there you go. All right, where are we at, guys?
Yeah, well, we're beginning lap 3 right now. Lap 3 or 4, and things have settled down at the front. Paul Slavonic is still out front. Paul Darling in second place, and James Bunter in third. James is one of these guys that has participated with us, I believe, throughout most of the series, but this is the best that he has ran. So, yeah, good job, James. Let's see if he can tag on to the back of the Pauls.
Yeah, I feel like James, he kind of sneaks up there every once in a while. And, I mean, this is pretty big, because being 4 seconds off the leader here at this track is really sitting pretty.
Like Joey was saying, though, we said the smallness of this track, it's almost going to be about who can keep it off the rails.
Exactly. And that's what I heard. And especially actually was able to, I don't know if you guys caught it on our esports channel, but we took a ride with track native Rob Holland, and he took us around the track and showed us all the ins and outs, and it was pretty neat to hear from Rob, because Rob actually, and Joey, you can probably expand on a little bit more, but Rob lived at the track and has a place there, so who knows this track any better than him? I think, as you had said, Joey, earlier, that I kind of caught, he's done over 3,000 laps on this track. So hearing him talk through this track was really, really cool. And if you guys want to catch it, you can head over to esports page and actually click the ride-along video with Rob Holland and kind of hear the ins and outs of this track. But that was a really cool perspective to hear from him.
Yeah, you know, this guy has lived at the Nurburgring for 5+ years. He operates a race shop over there, you know, does several VLN Nurburgring races, has won several times in class with his VLN Nurburgring races, and he is no stranger to the Nordschleife, in the rain, in the snow, anytime. He is a true master around this place.
Let's actually jump on. So we're riding along actually right now with Rob here as he gets to about 140 miles an hour down into this turn. You know what's so cool, Joey, watching, being able to actually stream that live with him and kind of just watch him as he talked through things. You were talking about how hard it is and how difficult it is to be able to talk and drive on this track, because like we were saying, and Harold was saying, any little bit of error, I mean, you could throw away your entire race. And I heard that green stuff, the turf, is quite slippery from Rob.
Yeah, you know, we're on the GP circuit with him right now, so there's a little bit more forgiveness. You can see the track is pretty wide. We can run up on the curbs. They're angled around, and even through this chicane right here, we can watch Rob. He's going to go ahead and climb off all over those curbs, you know, all over the turf here. But now we are going to dip into the Nordschleife. We take this U-turn to the left, and the track surface changes, the width changes as Rob bangs up the front right fender a little bit. But now, and as you guys see, we're in the golden hour. Look at that sunset. You know, the sun's going down. This is what people love the Nürburgring for. And this is all downhill through here. The track has changed. It's much narrower, down to 4th gear. Look at this, 100 miles an hour. Oh, big slide through there with Rob. But
I think we're giving him the curse. I'm going to go ahead and jump off of Rob here.
Rob's got his hands full right there.
It does.
Definitely. But to go back to your point, nobody's immune here on this Nordschleife. This guy has got 3,000 laps, and as soon as his concentration starts just to talk, he goes off the track. It shows you the level of commitment, the level of intensity that you have to have at all times in this race.
Absolutely.
Yeah, they call it green hell for a reason.
Yeah, exactly. Oh, hey, good. Yeah, exactly. Good point. All right, guys, we're riding along on that rear cam of Paul Slavonic as Paul Darling is actually inching in that gap. He's bringing that gap closer and closer, and if you actually see in the top right of your screen, it shows that Paul Darling with a fast lap of 7:59. So he's actually running almost a second faster than Slavonic. So we're definitely going to see that gap pull in here.
So Joey, I got a question for you as a driver. How long do you think it takes somebody to get acclimated with the Nürburgring versus other tracks on the series calendar?
You know, considering that I've never been to the Nürburgring in real life, I can only base it off of the experience that I've had from other people. And talking with another very fast guy, Jordan Musser, he has been to the Nürburgring and lapped around the Nürburgring, and he said that one of the best experiences of his life, had a coach the whole time, and the first lap he did solo without a coach, his lap time increased 2 minutes.
Wow.
So, yeah, it is incredibly challenging. It's one of the most difficult racetracks to get up to speed. Jordan is a true pro. If he was doing under 2 minutes a lap faster with a coach than by himself, it's incredibly daunting. And just the reference points along the backside here, a lot of the turns look very similar. So how do you know when to brake, when to lift? if you're approaching a second gear corner versus a fifth gear corner. You can get caught out and lose a lot of time really fast.
Absolutely, and we're seeing the pressure get put. It's the Paul battle, the Paul versus Paul battle right here, and you guys can see the best lap times there. Paul Darling says he's not going to let this one go, so he is inching his way up here. We're watching the battle for first and second. And Joey, as you were saying, yeah, this track is obviously known on a huge level. I mean, it's on my bucket list to go there. Being a race fan and in the automotive industry, it's a trademark. You just have to go. And I heard, little birdie told me that Rich, you've been here.
In fact, I have. I've been there both as a spectator and someone crazy enough to pay 50 Deutschmarks to drive around it in his personal vehicle.
Tell us about that.
I tell you what, so the first 2 times I went to the but the Luxembourg Grand Prix. I think that was 96. And again, I went the year later for a superbike race. But that was always on the GP course, which is wide and everything. But I'd always heard about the Nurburgring, and this is back in like the late 90s when I was stationed over there. So this is before console sims and all that stuff, so I didn't really have an idea of what the actual motor show was really like. So I was like, I got my cool hopped up Mini. I'll go for a lap around there, 50 Deutschmarks. I can say I did it. And I'll tell you what, respect. Because I'm not gonna lie, I went off the track probably about 4 or 5 times, and luckily, I came so close to the arm coat.
Oh my goodness!
A number of times, I was way in over my head, but it was amazing. But I have to admit, when I was done, I was literally shaking.
Oh man! So how long did it take you to get around?
I wasn't counting. I was just kind of I was both elated and relieved when my lap was done. It was really cool. I can say I did it.
That's right.
I know a little bit more about driving than I did back in 90s. I think it was 97. But this place is amazing. It's almost like a fairy tale for motorsports enthusiasts. It's just bigger than life, literally.
Yeah, no, I could not imagine. And like I said, that's not something that a lot of people could say that they've been here. So that's pretty cool. So hopefully at one point in my life, I'll be able to head over there. But
man, I'd love to go back and give it another go because I think I'm more of a handle on how to drive now. So I'd really like to give it another stab if I get the chance.
Absolutely. All right, guys, well, let's check out this top 10 here as we are just about halfway. We're at lap 4 of 8. 34 minutes remaining of the World Tour Series Sprint Series race. We got our leader here, Paul Slavonic. Second place, Paul Darling, followed by James Bunter, Jeff Altenberg, Ignacio Hortal, rounding out our top 5. There's our points leader, Jordan Musser. 7th place, Kyle Pate. 8th, Jack Rouse Jr. as he grabs an extra spot there. 9th place, Chris Wolfson. And 10th place, Tim Stevens. And then we'll throw in old Rob Holland as he is looking to jump into the top 10 there. We can actually probably follow it out here. Actually, we got a few more drivers. Trent McMillian in 12th, Andrew Player in 13th, 14th Cody Riggs, and 15th Matt Christie. What happened to Matt, guys? Matt's normally a front runner here.
Matt was involved in that very beginning lap turn. He went too wide on one of the turns and found the guardrail, and that really wasn't his worst part. I think we were trying to talk about earlier. The people packed up behind him. It was a pretty big pile up there.
Oh, man. All right, guys, we're still seeing this battle here for first and second. I mean, I'm looking actually through here on the gaps. I don't know if you guys can find any closer battles, but I'm pretty sure our closest battle is right here in first and second.
Yeah, it definitely is, and they've been nose to tail here for the last lap and a half, which is 10+ minutes, right? And right now, it seems like Paul Darling's got a little bit more pace than our front runner, Paul Slavonic. He's running a little bit more downforce, it seems, as well. So he's having a tough time to get by on the straightaways, but through all of this twisty stuff, he manages to close right in. We'll see if he's got enough car setup to get around Paul or if he can only get to his bumper.
Ooh. Well, we're going to make things really exciting because I'm actually going to go to a quick commercial break. So we're going to see where this battle ends up when we come back from this quick break.
No.
All right. And we are coming back to the live action. As you guys just saw a really cool clip. That was actually from my future boss. Possibly. That was JP Roush, Jack Jr.'s son. He was messing with stop motion and he threw that together for us, which was super cool. And if you guys want to check it out again, head over to our ROUSH Performance esports page and you can check it out. So shout out to you, JP. That was really cool, and I am digging the donuts at the end with the smoke coming up. You did a great job, so we appreciate that, and hopefully you'll do more in the future. So shout out to JP. If you guys like that, make sure you tell JP in the comment section below. And while you're there, tell us where you're from. Who are you pulling for? Where are you from? And I have one more thing for you guys. So everyone likes Amazon. And for good reason. I mean, it's really easy. You just go on, you order something, it shows up at your door like 3 minutes later. So, ROUSH Performance wants to give away this month a $250 Amazon gift card. And it's as simple as heading over to roushperformance.com, click on the newsletter link at the top of the page, and all you have to do is subscribe with your email address. And you're going to receive an email here in the near future about the details of this, but it automatically will enroll you in this giveaway for this month. So $250 for an Amazon gift card from ROUSH Performance. So all you have to do is head over to roushperformance.com, click the newsletter in the top link, and subscribe to that newsletter, and we'll get you all signed up. So best of luck, good luck. Make sure you like this. Don't go over there now. Just go over after the race because there's still that tight battle up front. The Paul versus Paul show as it's happening. Speaking of, Joey or anyone can answer this. What is the graffiti looking stuff that's on the track there?
You know,
It's graffiti.
Yeah, it's exactly that. You know, chalk, paint, the locals, the visitors. They go out there and they paint it. They put their signature on it. And, you know, it rains, it snows, it gets rubber on it, it gets washed away, and people go out and draw on it some more.
I mean, is it saying, like, good luck? Or what is it saying?
You know, I go by it too fast to read it.
Good answer.
That's a good answer.
They're there, Joey. Yeah.
Oh, man. And check this out, guys. What straight is this here, Joey? But they're coming down this straight here as it looks like Darling.
You know, there was a little bit of contact in the backside of the Nordschleife there between the two Pauls, and I think Paul Slavonic got the worst end of the stick. Paul Darling was a great competitor and pulled back over, let him by. He knew that he kind of roughed him up a little bit. I think that both, let's see here, Paul Darling, and, yeah, they're both going to dip in and use these fast repairs, guys. This is an interesting strategy move. They are going to need to pit during this race. When you use the fast repair, fill up the car, they'll be good to the end of the race. This shouldn't cost them any time at all.
Okay, so we're going to see all the competitors pitting at some point because no one can make it around this track without hitting the pits, correct?
Yeah, we're running 22 gallons in these cars this race, and that should last them about 45, 47 minutes, and this is a 1 hour race. So they do need to come in and get a little bit of fuel.
All right. Well, then here is our new leader, James Bunter, as he stays out and hanging on to his best lap of an 8:01. So Bunter's running pretty quick here, because if you look at the best times, I mean, besides the two Pauls with a 7:59.4, 7:59.1, I believe Bunter here has the third fastest of the night with an 8:01.3. So he's here to play.
Definitely, guys. And we've got Jeff Altenberg now cycled himself up to second place, it looks like. And Jeff Altenberg is another one of our pro guys, a big touring car guy, was actually one of our Roush mystery drivers at Suzuka. And
that's right.
Good to see him running up near the front here at the Nurburgring as well.
All right, and looks like Paul Darling, the Pauls are back out on the track with a quick, looks like Paul Slavonic's guys were just a tad quicker with a 37.7. Paul Darling's guy, they were slacking a little bit with a 40.3 second, but it looks like most of the field has already pit. It looks like there's only 4 guys that have stayed out so far.
Yeah, and since we're at about 25 minutes in the race, let's see who's running. Let's check out these liveries. Let's do another rundown, and let's start with the leader up here.
All right. So yeah, we got James Bunter with the looks like the OG Ford Performance.
That's the Mustang GT4 Multimatic livery.
Yeah,
the launch livery, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
That's the Mustang GT4 Multimatic livery. So that's a pretty popular one that we see in IMSA, but on a different car.
Altenberg with a like an undercover here. He says, "No one's paying me. I'm not putting nothing on my car."
What? Hey,
driver
what?
for hire.
Driver for hire. He just wants to know the 72 car is coming. So he has it there on the front. Slavonic with that DMG United. Isn't Slavonic the one with the text on the spoiler?
Yeah,
I think the older crowd can help me out with this.
No, I do not believe it was Paul Slavonic.
Is Slavonic is the one that says, "Don't tell me the odds." You're talking about the Joker one? That's somebody else.
Oh, that's right. Okay, so Slavonic has the, what does it say? Don't tell me the odds?
Don't tell me the odds. Yeah.
That's great. All right, let's check out Paul Darling here. See if we can get a little bit closer shot. There you go. Crest the hill.
Nice spec map going on with some chrome and yellow there.
Digging that. That's a good looking car. Is right. All right, there's Ignacio Hortal.
Ignacio is actually a brand new entry for us. This is his first race with the World Tour. We're happy to have him and putting on a good show right now. Thank you for coming out and racing with us.
That's a pretty cool. The butt kicker, it says.
Definitely.
I wouldn't want to be behind or in front of that guy.
I believe butt kicker. I believe they make some motion stuff for simulators.
Nice.
If I'm not mistaken.
Well, they make a few things. The butt kicker itself, and then there's some other shakers that they use. But the butt kicker is their top seller for iRacers. Kind of gives them that little seat in the pants that we talk about.
Nice.
And then looks like we got Jordan Musser with that classic white with the blue wing.
Buck Brush Co.
The same livery that he's rocked.
Is that a toothbrush company? I'm trying to get a hint here.
Well, knowing Jordan's hairstyle, it might be a hair, more of a hair tone deal.
Oh, I see. All right, jumping over to Kyle Pate. Let's see what Kyle's got going on here.
That reminds me of some muscle car orange right there.
Yeah, look at that. Proudly pushing out the Continental Tire ROUSH Performance. Got the square R up top. I'm digging that orange. That's almost like a Hugger orange almost.
It's a great looking orange.
Great looking car. And to the boss, Jack Roush Jr., of course. Oh, hey, look, he has his name on the side of the car. That's pretty neat. I'm going to put my name on the side of it. Jack's been running this paint scheme for a few races. But if you look closely, what's really cool, it has like a ghost stars and stripes on it, which looks really neat.
Yeah, if I remember correctly, Jack worked with Tyler Wolf on this paint scheme initially.
He did.
And then, Jack was able to convert it all over into iRacing here. So this was a real scheme that they came up with for a real race car, and I think it looks great.
That does look great. There is Chris Wolfson. It looks like. Let's see if we can we tell him to slow down a little bit so I can get the shot?
Chris has been a regular competitor with us. I believe he's 4th in the championship coming into this race. Having a good solid outing. What is he, 9th right now?
Yep, currently 9th.
Oh, that's good. White, black, red.
Yeah. Here's Tim Stevens caressing the hill here. And that...
Tim Stevens is one of our media guys. He does a lot of simulator racing. I saw that he's in the pro rally stuff with Travis Pastrana and all these big names. We're happy to have Tim Stevens come and race with us. Yeah, the road show there.
Rocking the road show. Yep.
Yeah,
cool.
Great to have Tim with us. And I know that he had quite a moment at Suzuka earlier this year where he dropped Collins' car as a ramp, launched himself right off the racetrack.
Well, if you want to give Tim a follow, you can at Tim_Stevens. That might be his Twitter handle, Instagram, Facebook. I'm not sure, but hey, try it on all of them. You can be his friend. All right, jumping over to Andrew Player.
Let's see what Andrew's car looks like here.
Did anyone catch it?
Ooh, yeah, actually, no. I think that looks great. That reminds me of
little splatter graphic.
Yeah, with that nice deep maroon. Like, is that a JRE front end?
Ooh. Speaking of the good old JRE.
I think that's a great looking car with that candy apple front end.
Yeah, almost ruby/candy. Yeah, somewhere in between. Looking good. All right. There it is. There's Matt Christie in that Novistar. Yep. Part of the Grid Life team here. Always a front runner. What a great guy Matt is. He's it's pretty cool. Matt is actually one heck of an iRacer. If you're friends with him on Facebook or anything, almost daily I feel like he updates a post of getting into the fastest in the world times at certain tracks. I mean, you're talking top 10 fastest in the entire world for certain tracks here on iRacing. So Matt is a heck of a competitor, and to have him out here running with us is definitely a lot of fun.
So to cut you off a little bit, let's go back to the action of Paul Darling, because he has caught 2nd place.
Look at this, guys. Yeah, we got...
And it looks like we might have a freight train going by here on the North Life straightaway.
So yeah, this is, it looks like Jeff Altenberg and the Pauls. Here it is as he crests the hill. What a shot.
Yeah, this is going to be interesting for the Pauls.
Oh,
no. Paul Darling has got those hips out today.
Yes, he does. That's the best way to put it. But I don't see Darling reacting in a way that... I don't know. Well, there's Jeff Altenberg down into the pits. So it's back to just the Pauls. See what's going to happen here.
I think if I was Paul Slavonic, I would capitalize right now. You know that Paul Darling has got a fast car. You know he's got pace. So if you're close, take a shot if you've got one.
So wait, so you're saying to dump him?
No, not to dump him.
Oh, okay.
If you've got
Joe, you can't say. I'm just kidding.
Come on now.
If you've got an opportunity,
you would have prefaced that with, "Hey, brother."
If you've got an opportunity to pass him, you need to take your opportunity.
Absolutely.
You know that he is going to run, skip, jump on out there.
Most of us knew what Joey was talking about. I wonder what kind of racer Trevor is in iRacing. He always talks about jumping.
I think we know. I think we know what Trevor's all about.
If you see my iRating, you'll understand. It's not the best.
Whoa.
No, I'm just kidding. No, I am a very, because this is my thing. I do a lot of dirt, oval, and now I'm starting to get into the trucks a little bit. I am a little on the rougher side. I'm not going to lie. But I will never just dump someone because they raced me hard. If they are bumping a little too hard or something, I might take my shot.
Let me tell you guys, Trevor and I have been doing some sessions lately, which I think we're going to get a sneak peek of here in a little bit.
Ooh,
and
I
think he spent more time on his roof than he did on all 4 wheels.
I'm gonna fact check Joey.
Like Trevor to me, that Trevor would be flipping upside down and playing turtle. Did you help him over, Joey?
Oh man, first off, I'm not even going to say anything more because Joey was actually on his roof too. But
I was.
Let's actually, speaking of this testing that we've been doing, and a little bit of fun, we're actually just going to show you guys. So, yeah, let's just show them.
Yeah, we've been working on something to plan next after this world tour comes to an end.
Yep, and here it is. All right, and there it is, guys. That is going to be,
now.
yeah.
I'm going to have to update the timetable on my PC rig.
I tell you,
that looks so much fun.
those trucks are great. And we were talking about this before. Joey, Trevor, they convinced me to get my butt out there. And we're going to do some in-car. And I'll channel my inner Clinton Boyer and show you guys how things are going from inside the cockpit while we're doing those jumps.
Absolutely. No, guys, this is kind of be the next series that we jump into starting in January 2021. So take just a few months off here and then right back to the action. We're going to do a 3-race series in these Pro 4 Stadium Ford trucks. And man, I cannot wait to see what it's going to look like. And as you guys have seen, it is open to the public. There's going to be professional big name drivers that are going to be amongst you, banging doors with you guys, because I guarantee you're going to be banging doors. Let me just tell you, it is, as we heard before, we showed you, I ended up on my roof a few times. Things were exciting, but we cannot wait to jump into that. So if you're interested in it, all you have to do is we're going to put out a little bit more information on our esports page. Joey's going to be setting up that Motorsport Reg, correct, Joey?
Yeah, we've got a Motorsport Reg sign up that we will be releasing to the public. I believe tomorrow. We've got our Enduro race tomorrow, and we should be able to post it up and start accepting those entries right on in for us to come race.
So there you go. So if you are an off-road driver or you want to be, there you go. You can join the fun with us. All right, guys. Looks like we have some new names in the top 5. It doesn't look like Ignacio Hortal has he pitted? No, he has not. And he's running pretty solid times here, guys, with an 8-minute flat. And maybe he has a strategy that maybe he has an extra fuel can in there.
Yeah, he's going to have to stop if he hasn't yet. James Bunter is going to have to stop as well if he's out front. That will cycle Paul Darling probably to the lead.
Yep, and there.
Are we watching Ignacio here?
Yeah, this is Ignacio that he just
moment in the carousel.
Yeah, Ignacio actually just spun in a turn. He got turned around here. He's back out, but it looks like.
Looks like he's underway, not too much damage. Might have some banged up stuff, but guys, if he's got to still pit, perfect opportunity to use that fast repair, put that little bit of fuel in the car, get back out there. He's still alive.
If you're talking about offs on this track, just for people who don't have the iRacing, and off on this track gets you a point, incident point. You hit something is usually at 2, you hit another car, it's a 4 point. And we actually have a driver out on the track with a 0. The number 72 car, Jeff Altenberg.
That's pretty good there.
Well, actually, if you guys want to, since it looks like we're going to have another, lap or so left, I think we left off at Matt Christie maybe Trenton McMillian next. I really want to get to all of these guys.
Yeah, definitely.
They spend a lot of time in participating in practice.
Absolutely.
And getting their car set up. And I want to make sure that we give a shout out and show all of these cars that everybody's out there racing.
Well, yeah, then we can pick it back up at Trenton McMillian here in that number 24 Ford GT, going with that all white paint scheme, huh?
Yeah,
test livery.
Yeah, exactly. It's really showing off those lines though on that Ford GT.
That's that
All right, we got Stephen Baker here.
Shout out to Stephen Baker. He is one of my personal friends out here in the Northwest, and he is a resident track day guy. He does some track days in a Subaru. He's done a bunch of track days when he lived in Michigan and Florida as well. So good to see him out here in the sim world.
There you go. Rocking the all black. We got the all white, all black there.
Yeah,
running
Stephen
13,
is
14.
using this as his launching point for his professional career, he says.
There you go. All right, followed by Cody Riggs. I can talk a little bit about Cody.
Yeah.
Cody is actually from one of our top ROUSH Performance dealers, Long MacArthur Ford, there in, I believe it's Wichita, Kansas. I hope I'm getting that right. It's in the very center of the United States, if that's a dead giveaway. I know it's in Kansas. I believe it's Wichita. But if it's not, all you guys have to do is head over to longmacarthurford.com and you guys can find out. But no, what a great team they have over there. As you can see, Cody's in with us here during the ROUSH Performance World Tour Series. He's hung out from the very beginning, and he is proud showing off that Long MacArthur Ford GT. But one thing about Cody, he lives ROUSH. I mean, goes to work. He's one of our top performers on the parts side with ROUSH. He's on the service side. He's taking care of our ROUSH Performance customers. So shout out to you, Cody. Thank you so much for taking the time to hang out with us. And a special shout out to the Long MacArthur team for all the hard work they have done this past year.
Not a bad looking car either.
Great looking car.
The gray and blue, yeah.
Yeah, Cody does a lot of oval racing and sim racing, so he has that livery on a few different race cars, and I know that he streams his stuff too, so you can actually go follow, I believe it's Riggs Racing, and
I think you're right.
Follow him and check out some of the racing that he does.
Definitely. All right, there's Eliza Campos there. Oh, and if you can't recognize that paint scheme, you got issues.
That is one classic ROUSH scheme.
That absolutely is. That has lived in the ROUSH blood for a long time. I believe.
It just looks good on everything.
Yeah, that was that car has won the Daytona 24-hour amongst the 10 wins in a row. Oh,
amazing!
No.
Well,
man,
not that one specifically.
Oof.
Jinx.
We need. I'm afraid of even switching back to the leader now. Our broadcasting curse is real
All right,
tonight.
well, let's keep going down the list here.
I don't know if we.
Looks like we got Steve Luca.
I don't see anybody else on the track.
Yeah.
It looks like we've got quite a few retirements as we go down the list. But
shout out to those guys. Rob Holland, I think he retired a little bit early. I know he was trying to get that car under him. But Steve Luca, Christopher Tate, David Levine, Rolando Falgueres, JG Pastor Jack, Carl Modiff, Ricardo Turo. Oh, shout out to you, Joey Atterbury.
Hey, look at me all the way down there.
There you are.
I think Christopher Tate was the last driver that took a lap.
Okay.
Well,
yep, I think you're right.
I'm not sure. I think we're going to have one lap left here, guys. Looks like Paul Darling's, about a third of the way through the Nordschleife. He's taken a pretty commanding lead since that pit stop, and it's a Paul show. It's a Paul show, guys, as it has been before.
Yeah,
it definitely is. All right, guys.
Should be one additional lap because he'll probably cross the stripe with some time left.
Well, we're watching Paul Darling with about a 8-second lead over Slavonic, and then it kind of opens up to almost a 30-second gap there to Jordan Musser, which is our point series leader. and possibly clinching the championship here in this position. And he is going to take home the hardware. We'll have it all confirmed for the official results after the race. But before we go back to the action, we got to jump to a quick commercial break.
Time, we expect great side-by-side racing. So sit back, relax, and stay hydrated. The heat is on.
Bad girl with a good heart. Lost boy got a fresh start. She needs my gasoline. Stay chrome on the Mustang. Drop top, no we don't play. 'Cause I don't want nicotine.
Right, and back to the live action. As you guys just seen, the Haggerty and Skip Barber racing spot there. Always that Haggerty gives you the good feels there as he picks up, looks like his 65 Fastback Mustang there. Pretty cool little story. And then, of course, Skip Barber Racing outfitted in ROUSH Stage 3 Mustangs. So if you're ready to get behind the wheel of a 750 horsepower ROUSH Stage 3 Mustang, you can head over to skipbarberracing.com and see if they're at a track near you and enjoy the experience. I just had a friend, Garrett from American Muscle HD, went out to the Atlanta track and said he really enjoyed it and couldn't believe the power and capability of our Stage 3 Mustang. So pretty cool to hear from him on that one.
Guys, let me tell you, anytime you get behind the wheel of one of those ROUSH Stage 3 cars, that supercharger, that V8, 700 plus horsepower, it gets your attention real fast.
Oh yeah.
Sure does.
Yep, absolutely does.
It's intoxicating.
It's an addiction for real, and I'm sure our ROUSH viewers that are sitting here watching this with a Mustang in their garage, or even our F-150s, Raptors, Super Duties, Ranger, I'm sure they all understand what we're talking about. I always called it the ROUSH grin. You know, when you get in a car and you just get on it and that grin slowly climbs your face as you accelerate. That is what it is. I call it the ROUSH grin. I don't care what you're doing.
Now I know what to call it. That's what it is.
It absolutely is. 100%.
I tell you what, guys, you go on the racetrack with one and that grin doesn't stop. It keeps going through sixth gear.
Oh, I can only imagine.
That grin becomes a clinch, especially if you're riding along with Jack Roush Jr. at Sebring and you're going into, I believe it's turn one there. And I just, in my mind, I'm like, there's no way. There's no possible way we're going to make it through this corner. And, of course, the Continental Extreme Contact Sports took us right through it. And the stability of our suspension components just took us right through the corner. And Junior just he doesn't even flinch. I love it. He's just like, oh, leisurely Sunday drive. I'm over here clinching the seat. Got to have my ROUSH grin turn into like teeth grinding. But I enjoyed it. It was a lot of fun.
Was he chuckling a little bit?
Oh, I'm sure. Yeah, I'm sure he was. 100%. Under that helmet, you know he was. He's like,
yeah. Paul Darling decided that on his.
I seen that.
Paul put his fastest lap up. He did catch the white flag, so this is it for us guys. So
This is it. With
guys, I
yes.
will say that with the fuel burn in these cars, they do get faster and faster. The GP circuit, as the tires go off, it gets pretty slippery, but we're only on the GP circuit for what, a minute and a half maybe. And the Nordschleife has a ton of grip, and so the car gets faster and faster and faster every lap.
Absolutely. And there's our top 4 guys: Paul Darling, Paul Slavonic, James Bunter, Jordan Musser. Looks like James held on to a really solid spot there. His strategy worked out pretty well for him.
And then, Joey, like you're saying, that there's these cars, as they get lighter, they get faster. I'm sure these guys were looking at some kind of pit strategy to only put what they needed into the tank, right?
Yes and no. So, what was Paul's fastest lap here? I think it was a 59, and then he did, what, a 56?
Just did a 7:55.
Okay, so that's only 4 seconds. How many laps are you going to gain at an advantage with low fuel versus how much time it takes to put that fuel in the car? Because you still do need to come and put fuel in the car. And I think that the fastest strategy is to start with that full 22 gallons and then take minimal fuel in the car.
Right, so they were doing the calculations when they went back into the pits of having the car be almost empty when they take the actual check.
Correct. Yes. Yeah, we were actually talking. Jack Rush Jr. was asking this exact question a few minutes before the qualifying session, and we decided that the time gain from running low fuel is not as much as the time gain that we would have in the pits from taking less fuel.
Huh. Yeah, that's it. I'm sorry. Yeah, I'll put it this way. There is no strategy that could save me. I tried to run a lap here, and I was at 10 minutes, and I don't think I was even halfway around the track. My car was pretty beat up. I needed instant tow.
I'm sure that Owen Trinkler here in the commentary booth has been in a race car with a strategy whiz on the radio, and Owen's like, I have no idea what's going on, but I'll trust you guys.
Look at Owen just jumping in here. What's up, Owen?
I'm good, guys. Good to be back with you. I've just been kind of taking it all in, and a little break for me as we've been pretty busy doing some other stuff on track. But one thing to note here, Trevor, Darling is pushing this last lap. He's not just cruising to the finish here.
Yeah.
He's dropped 2 wheels off in a couple spots as we watch him here and follow along with him. He is trying to stretch his lead even on this last lap.
Do you think at this point, and being a professional driver, at this point, what are you thinking? Because I feel like I would be really conservative. I'm just going to keep the car underneath me. But yeah, you're absolutely right. Paul is just pushing it. He says, I'm not lifting. Is that pretty typical?
Yeah, you want to get in a good rhythm, Trevor. You don't want to get, you start to kind of slow down and say, hey, I'm just going to cruise to the finish here. Takes your focus away and maybe kind of wandering off somewhere else in your mind.
Right.
So he's come in here with the plan. He's put some distance between himself and second place, so it's just keep after it. He's in a rhythm right now, and obviously he's class of the field tonight at the Nordschleife.
So Owen, is it similar to the bite of the prevent defense? You don't want to do that as the driver.
Oh, yeah, totally. And I completely hate that when you see teams do that on the football field. It's just like they're giving up their momentum, and Paul's just got the momentum going his way. So he just needs to keep the foot down, and which he's doing here is probably got about a half a lap or so to go.
But another good point to put up, though, is Paul Darling is half of our leading team for tomorrow night's race. He could be getting some notes taken for what he's going to do for tomorrow night.
Absolutely. And Joey, you can maybe talk a little bit on tomorrow night as far as point standings go for the Enduro Series, as it looks like we can probably announce here. Joe, you want to go ahead and let everyone know who our ROUSH Performance World Tour Series Sprint Series winner is?
Well, yeah, you guys, the race is still yet to be finished, so I don't want to jump the gun too soon here.
Yeah, hold on now.
I have
here.
always been taught that, hey, even if you're in a good position, you do not say a word until that car crosses the finish line.
What would happen if his car just glitched off and just fell off the map?
It would be your fault,
It would be my fault, 100%.
Announcer's curse here again.
But it looks like Jordan Musser is going to need a pretty big box to fit all these prizes in, because I think that he's going to come home as the champion of the ROUSH World Tour Sprint Series.
All right, well, let's see where's Paul at on the track, guys. We have an idea here.
Yeah, you know, Paul's coming down. It looks like he's in the last third of the Nordschleife here. This section, there's a big giant bump as you get on the throttle right there and you start to dive down. I forget what this section is called. I don't know. It's got some funky names. I know Rob Holland.
You get airborne. That's what I know.
The jump, yes. And then you come down through here, and this is a very fast section called Surfer's Paradise, where you're just flat out 60 gear. What's he doing? 150 miles an hour, 155 miles an hour, making your way through here into a very fast sweeping right-hander, down a couple gears, up over the crest, down one more gear, and we're going to lead into the mini carousel. This is when you know you're coming up on the end of the lap, guys. Just don't throw it away through here. You got another corner up over the rise, fourth gear. We're going to lead out onto the long straight of the Nordschleife. Keep it all four wheels on the track here, Paul.
Looks like we might see some lap traffic here.
Yeah, but you know, Paul's only got, 4 or 5 more corners left. This is where he can put it in cruise control, Trevor, is that you keep it flat through here. Don't let this lap car bother you.
Not if I'm watching.
Don't put a foot wrong down here in this big brake zone.
Man, talk about golden hour. Check that out, guys. Going down into...
absolutely beautiful.
Man, that's racing there.
Well, guys, we're going to follow along here with Paul Darling as he goes through this final couple turns. He's got to woe it all the way down to second gear here from the top of 6th. One more turn. Does he keep it off the guardrail? Looks like he's going to come around. He's going to take this checkered flag, guys.
There it is.
Paul Darling.
Congratulations, Paul, man. That's a race there.
Dominating.
Yep, absolutely. Sure. I mean,
I wonder if he put some icing on some donuts down here.
Let's see it. Let's see it, Paul. Come on.
He knows what we like, and he better show us what we like.
Where's he going? Where's he going? Is he going to find it? Well, congratulations to Paul Darling for winning the final race of our ROUSH Performance World Tour Sprint Series. And, I mean, he has been a great competitor all series. Really cool to watch him run. And so congratulations and big shout out to Jordan Musser. Jordan is our overall champion for the Sprint Series here on the ROUSH World Tour. And he is going to be taking home the hardware. Not only the hardware, but he's also going to be getting prizes from our partners at Haggerty and Continental Tire. He will be getting a set of ROUSH Continental tires, and he'll be taking home that R-Seat N1 sim racing rig. So I'm sure he is going to be absolutely pumped about that. And wow, what a season for the Sprint Series, guys.
Guys, I am just so happy that we made it through. Everybody is still alive, and we're on to some bigger and better things that I'm really, really excited for. Sure, this is coming to a close, but oh man, I can't wait for 2021 and more of this.
Oh man, big things coming as you guys have seen. The going over to those Pro 4 trucks, I think it's going to be an absolute blast. And talk about action-packed. I mean, if Joey and I can put on some action, just two of us on the track, I couldn't imagine seeing 30-plus drivers get on this track. I mean, parts are going to be flying, maybe tempers. It's going to be a blast, though.
Those trucks take a beating, though. That's what's great about them. It's not like the fragile open-wheel cars. You can really do a lot of beating and banging on each other and still have a lot of fun.
Yeah. Pretty forgiving. That's exactly what
guys,
I need.
Guys, you know, with all of our races, even these ones, if you're not sure of the car, the track, anything like that, we provide setups. We provide practice. So yep. You're not just jumping into these races blind with some of these guys. You have tons of time. It's a great fun to come out, hang out with everybody, and put laps in. Wear out that track.
Yeah, definitely.
The GT guys, Matt Christie, as you mentioned earlier, Trevor. I went out with these guys at Mount Panorama. I was out with these guys, and I was the bottom of the barrel, but they provided the setup for me to use. They talked me, and I stayed out there for about a good hour, and even Joey Atterbury used me as a launching tool every once in a while. But hey, it was a lot of fun. You get out there, mix it up with these guys. You don't know who you'll meet. You find some of these professional drivers are a lot nicer than they're given credit for sometimes.
You got to watch those guys. All right. Well,
I like the sometimes part.
sometimes you still got to watch them. All right, guys, let's check out the results board sponsored by Haggerty Motorsports. Paul Darling taking the win, followed by Paul Slavonic in second, James Bunter in third, Jordan Musser in fourth, fifth place, Ignacio Hortel, sixth, Kyle Pate, 7th, Jeff Altenberg, 8th place, Jack Roush Jr., 9th, Chris Wolfson, 10th, Tim Stevens, followed by 11th place, Matt Christie, 12th, Andrew Player, Trenton McMillian, Stephen Baker, 15th, Cody Riggs, followed by Lizer Campos, Rob Holland, Steve Luca, Christopher Tate, Rolando Falgueres, and David Levine, Carl Modiff, and looks like Ricardo Toro and JG Pastor Jack taking up the top 24 spot there. Man, what a race, guys. And I'm so glad that this series happened, and it obviously couldn't have happened without our supporters, between our partners with Continental Tire, Haggerty Motorsports, but of course our fans and our viewers that are watching, hanging out with us, listening to us, just have fun. What a time it has been, and 2020 has been one heck of a year, and I'm glad to be able to put on such a great show with a bunch of great people here. And let's see, are we pulling anyone in the booth, guys?
Well, I've got a couple. I picked up with James and Jordan. Figure we talk to James first, and then we'll talk to our champ.
All right, sounds good.
James, we got you in the booth. What a great finish podium tonight.
Hey guys, how are we going?
James, wow, what a run out there, man. You parked it in third place there. Was there any strategy call that you had, and did you keep that strategy to the end?
Strategy, not so much, man. I think I just sort of, I qualified back in 7th and just sort of thought to myself, see how we go, just hopefully have a clean first lap. That was mainly like the primary objective. There were a few offs and stuff sort of in the first half of the lap, and then I just managed to make it up to third. And then I sort of realized very quickly that both of the poles were running much lower downforce than me. So as soon as we get onto a straight section, they were just taking off up the road. And I'm just like, okay, cool. So third is pretty much, I realized after about the end of the first lap, I had to look back and, sorry, people talking in game. I can't.
You're all right. You're all right.
I know that problem.
Yeah, look. And so I basically let's just go to options and turn this shit off.
Yeah, you're all right. You're all right.
Sorry, guys, bear with me. So I was having a look there at the end of the first lap at the relative and realized I had a reasonable gap back to P4 and I had lower downforce than both the poles who were keeping it together in the corners and taking away from me on the straight. So I sort of came to realize very quickly that P3 is probably the best that I was going to do unless they took each other out, which I don't know, maybe I think there was a bit of contact on the lap that they pit because they both had about a 10-second lead on me. And then about halfway through the lap, they were 5 seconds up the road. And I was just like, oh, okay, something's happened. So yeah, no, nothing in terms of strategy, man. Like I just wanted to sort of make sure I looked after the car, looked after the tires, and just did my best to bring it home. So I think it's a bit of retribution for Bathurst. Like I think I got unlucky getting punted just after the pace car and went back in, and I was really hoping to do well at Bathurst. Obviously, a bit of Australian bias, and that didn't quite happen. I got wrecked out and finished, I think, P16 or something like that. So very happy to finish on the podium here today for sure.
Oh yeah, great race. And what is your background in sim racing or racing in general?
Absolutely zero real life racing experience. I'm going to put that out there straight away. it all just sort of started for me. I started following Formula One, like IRL, watching along. Picked up the Formula One game and started playing that with a gamepad for a while, and then eventually jumped up to a wheel, and then started with iRacing. And I don't really play F1 anymore. I kind of just, don't really find it very entertaining anymore.
Yeah.
So yeah, just been sort of been racing around for about 3 years now. It's only just sort of something that came up a few years ago. So
nice.
No real life experience. Obviously, I encounter a lot of guys from the States who all say like, "Oh yeah, I have 15 years experience running late models at local short tracks." And it's just like, we don't really have those facilities or things like that here to really get into it unless you've got a family who's interested in it.
Yeah.
And then you get into karting from a young age. So,
You showed some skill out there, and we're really glad that you joined us for the series, and hopefully you'll join us when we head over to, we just actually told our viewers, and we're getting ready to launch. We're heading into the Pro 4 truck series with the off-road trucks, so maybe you can make the jump over there with us.
Potentially, man. Definitely one thing that makes it a little bit difficult for me to sort of come to some of these races is my my work schedule. I work in the food service industry, and it just so happens to be lucky that I'd sometimes get like a Thursday off because it's 1 p.m. here on Thursday.
Oh yeah.
And if I happen to be working like last week, if this race fell last week, I wouldn't have made it because I was at work.
Oh yeah.
Because I'm working nights here, working split shifts, all that sort of thing. So it's a bit of a challenge. Trying to squeeze in sim racing and working in the working in a commercial kitchen, but
I
get to manage it and it's good fun. So
great.
Well, we're happy to have you here, James. So thank you for making time because this is a great way to connect during all this stuff that's going on in the world. So thank you very much.
Yeah, no, not a problem at all. And thank you for the invites and organizing everything, by the way, Joey. And also, I need to go out and say a massive congratulations to Jordan for winning the championship here this afternoon.
Sure did.
I had a quick chat to him before, and he said he and I had a little bit of a nudge on the first lap, but he managed to jump onto one of the big curbs and snap his suspension. So he was like, no, I slowed you down because of my mistake. And I was like, yeah, look, I didn't want to say it.
That's great. Well, James, thank you again so much for joining us in the ROUSH Performance World Tour series, and we hope that you come back for following series.
I really hope that I have the the availability and stuff to come back and race some more with you guys. So,
sounds good.
Thank you very much.
Thanks, James. We'll see you.
Cheers, bye.
All right, and
we actually caught up with the race winner, Paul Darling.
All right, it looks like we have Paul Darling and is Jordan in the booth as well. I think we got both of them in here. So we have race winner and championship driver Jordan Musser and race winner Paul Darling. Paul, let's start with you here first. Heck of a race, heck of a series. Why don't you tell us a little bit about tackling all 170 of those turns?
It's always a massive handful, this track, whenever you come to it. I'm lucky I've been on iRacing for a while, so I've been able to do a couple 24-hour races on it. But this thing's just a monster to tackle every time you come to it. It's just putting in the laps and getting familiar with it again.
Yeah, it was pretty wild to just see you get faster and faster. I mean, as kind of Joey had mentioned, obviously when fuel consumption, when you're getting lighter, of course you're kind of getting quicker, but you were not holding back. You were pushing through to that very end, and I think your fast time was somewhere around 7:55, which is absolutely amazing.
Yeah, always pushing hard even when it's a bit risky. It was a really fun race with Paul.
No, absolutely. And you've been, what a great competitor to watch you running out there. I mean, from the very beginning, from the very first series that ROUSH Esports put on till now. And we just want to thank you so much for joining us and running hard out there and putting on a heck of a show for us.
Hope we could make it entertaining for you guys out there. And I'll see you guys tomorrow.
Sounds good. Thanks, Paul. All right. Joey, let's introduce our ROUSH Performance World Tour Sprint Series champion, Dun, dun, dun.
Jordan Musser. I hope you got a big garage because I think you got some stuff headed your way.
I'm pretty excited, guys. I appreciate it. It's awesome.
Well, I know that it wasn't a completely uneventful race for you. Why don't you take us through that first lap?
Yeah, man. I mean, no one wanted to lead it, first of all, it seemed like. I go off, Paul goes off. I know Colby there bumped some fenders. I think there's a wreck behind us. Every time I race, I go for the win. I mean, obviously the championship was in my mind, but I still wanted to race for the win. And unfortunately, I made a bit of a mistake on that first lap. Full fuel load combined with, honestly, just kind of a lapse of judgment. It's the first time on the track, actually, with multiple cars. Yet I've only practiced at Nurburgring. So I just kind of lost my head a little bit, made a dumb mistake, and that put me about 30 seconds behind. And it's kind of how the race was, just cruised around.
Well, I'll tell you what, even though you made a mistake, you forced the guy who's a pro there, Rob Holland, into a mistake behind you as well.
Yeah, I felt bad about that. I actually got crossed up a bit, and I think his eyes went wide open, and he didn't quite catch it. I felt bad, man, because that guy has so many laps. I know how bad he wanted to do well here. I honestly think over the course of the race, I don't know if he would have kept up with Paul D, but I think he would have been battling with Paul Slavnik for second. He's really good there.
Oh, yeah. No, Rob is a true pro in all facets of the word professional, and he's very fast around this place. It was just one of those racing deals. He's chasing you for a position. You get in hot, he gets in hot, and it happens.
Exactly. So, I would say it's my fault, but I still feel bad for him.
Well, out of this World Series, what do you think has been the most memorable or most fun race that we've had or that you've raced with us?
Man, I liked watching the last lap of Suzuka, and I wouldn't even drive in it. That was just amazing last lap. I mean, it was fun to watch. For me, it was probably the first time I really felt like I had a shot at winning was Spa. I mean, the car is just really good. So the first time I was like, wow, I am really fast. Made a couple mistakes, but had a shot at winning. That really meant a lot to me. It showed that even though I was new to esports, that I'd kind of figured it out and was ready to put my head down and try to win the championship.
Very cool. Well, you were in the race car. Something that we announced is our 2021 short series that's coming up in January, February with some 900 horsepower Pro 4 off-road trucks. So as always, the invitation to come and race with us is open to you, and we hope to see you out there in the future.
Yeah, I really appreciate you guys doing this. I know it's a lot of, say, extra work that probably a year ago you didn't think you were going to be doing, but it's awesome with Roush and Haggerty and Continental, everybody putting everything behind this. It's really a lot of fun, and I don't consider it like different from full-size real car racing. Or I don't consider it less than. It's just different. Paul proved that. I mean, he is so fast in this thing. I mean, he is a true professional, esports racer, and I would love to one day be even close to him.
Yeah, actually, I think we got Paul Slavnik that's waiting to come in here and interview. And Jordan, once again, thank you for coming out and racing with us. You are the 2020 ROUSH World Tour Sprint Series champion. Congratulations.
Thanks, guys.
Thanks, Jordan. All right, who are we pulling in here, guys? Who do we have next? Let's also see about getting the boss in here. Get a little bit of a Sprint Series recap. Looks like we have second place finish of Paul Slavnik. Paul, what's going on?
Trevor, how's it going, man?
Man, what a race it was out there. And that first lap, pretty exciting. Why don't you walk us through it?
I mean, it was one of those things you just totally don't expect because you just want to kind of go out there and have a show first lap. Things are going to happen. I didn't expect kind of the Red Sea to depart from me and find myself in the lead. That was more of like a oh crap moment because I just wanted to hang back and just kind of get into the rhythm and everything. But I was able to get by Rob, and then Jordan had an off, and then Paul had an off, and I was just kind of there. But from that point on, it was just all right. Let me just get down on the grip and just try to hold on. But yeah, darling, he's fast.
He was absolutely fast. And but I mean, you guys put on a Paul show. Let me just tell you that. I mean, watching the battle, almost probably the only battle on the track with that close of a gap. I mean, you guys put on a heck of a show. I'll tell you that.
Well, thanks, man. We were just talking and everything about our little off that we had, where we tried to take that left-hander too wide, and we almost had it. It would have been good if we made it, but at the same time, he was gracious enough to give it back to me. And at the same time, we were both lucky enough that we were able to go into the pits right after that and get our damage taken care of, and then go back out there and finish it up. I kind of embarrassed myself by outbreaking myself. I think it was like a lap or two later, and that's when he got by me. But at the same time, it was just good to go out there and have a race and not have to, not get taken out by anyone. And if I did, it was just a matter of getting the quick repair and just going out there and having some fun.
Absolutely. Well, Paul, you've been a heck of a competitor from the very beginning here on the esports, and we couldn't be more thankful for you taking the time to race with us and race in this series, and we hope that you'll continue to do so. We actually just told our viewers, and we are actually going over to the Pro 4 Off-Road Truck Series. Will you be joining us?
I'll do my best to join. No promises on how good I'll be. I told this. I've got about as much experience in the dirt as Jabba the Hutt does as a ballerina. So it's
that's perfect.
Not very much.
But Paul, it's great for a more leveling of play field. Some of us other guys, like I keep trying to convince these guys to do a turn left only thing, but they keep telling me they only want to turn left and right.
We might get there. We might get there. We might get to the turn left only, but I think the off-road series is going to pull everyone out of their comfort zone, and we're going to stick you on this little track, and there's going to be jumps and fender banging, and it's going to be a lot of fun. I mean, why not?
My goal would be to see how many trucks I can land on top of after the jump. Because if I land on someone's hood and then go over them, then you can just apologize for it. Because you really don't have any control. You're in the air.
We're just gonna have to get Joey to put a target on the top.
There's a lot of possibilities for some really interesting racing, guys. And these tracks that we're gonna go do, we're gonna put 40 trucks on them. It is gonna be a packed house.
And there's huge elevation changes in some of these tracks.
Sudden elevation changes.
So there needs to be an award, like after each race, like who jumped over the most trucks.
Right.
we give them the Checkers Award.
Yeah, exactly.
King me.
Exactly.
Well, guys, I actually think looking at all this, Paul, you ended up second place in points, which congratulations. It's got to be a little bit of a, sand in the eyes, because didn't you refer Jordan Musser to us?
I did, yeah. Well, actually, I think because we raced together in a previous league, and I think he may have got here before I did, and then he mentioned something to me about the league. And then I kind of looked it up and I got jealous, so I tried to jump in here too, and that's pretty much. I think that's how it happened. But at the same time, I can't be too mad. One of them was that stupid mistake I did at Suzuka, trying to race the pace car into the pit lane and everything. That pretty much did it. But Barcelona, combine those two together, I knew it was pretty much over after that. But still, just going out there, having a good race, and that's really my goal, is to go out there and race the fast guys and be competitive, have fun out there. And you never know what can happen. I did not expect to get P2 in this race. I just wanted to go out there and hopefully survive. This is not my favorite track, and I had very little practice. I had about a half-hour practice yesterday, and then no practice before this race. Just go out there and get 2 laps of qualifying in. So I'm just lucky to have been able to even finish the race.
Well, yeah, you stuck it up there on P2, and of course, as Joey was saying, P2 overall, so just missed it, but I have faith in you. I think next series, you've always been a really fun one to watch through the series, and we hope you continue to hang out with us. But before we let you go, do you have any shout-outs?
Yeah, I want to thank you guys for putting this series on. This has been a lot of fun, and it's just being able to race a bunch of different drivers, some real-life drivers, and then some like pro level sim guys. It's just been a really good mix up, a good variety of races, and to race it under the ROUSH banner is awesome. So thank you guys, and thank you for my wife for always making sure I'm well fed before these races.
that's an important one there. Well, awesome. Thank you so much, Paul, and hopefully we'll see you in the next series and series to come, and we'll see you tomorrow night. So we will catch you guys tomorrow 8 p.m. And Paul, thank you again.
Absolutely. Thank you guys.
All right. Looks like we got the boss in the house, Jack Roush Jr. Jack, what a season has it been for our sprint series? Really some exciting stuff. We've had the highs and lows on the track, but what would you say your favorite spotlighted race or moment?
Honestly, it'd have to be tonight. When we kicked this whole thing off, when we kicked off the World Tour, the track that was most on my mind, not that the other tracks aren't great, but man, to race at Nurburgring, even if it's just virtually, is a really cool thing. It's a huge undertaking just to be familiar with the track. And I gotta say, for me personally, it's kind of been a journey to get into this sim racing stuff. I haven't been all that comfortable with not feeling what the car is doing. That's been a struggle, like it is for a lot of drivers who don't spend a lot of time in the sims. But that being said, I'm pretty proud. I didn't win the race tonight, but I did go the whole race without making any major mistakes. Did get banged up a little bit, but I would say those weren't my fault. Nothing too bad, but yeah, it was a blast, man.
Well, hey, Jack, that first lap, we were watching and we were having some broadcasting deals, but you were involved in a giant wreck there in the beginning part of the Nordschleife, yeah?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I got lucky. Usually I'm not lucky in our races, but tonight I was able to escape that one.
You came up on a stalled or spun Matt Christie, and then I think there was 8 or 10 cars that just kind of piled in behind you.
Yeah, that was pretty bad.
No, well, Jack, thank you so much for letting us come out here, letting us play, letting us all get together and do this, especially during this time. This World Tour series has been great. I think we've accomplished a lot here, and just thank you.
Oh, absolutely. Thank you guys for helping to run it. Joey, Trevor, everyone else, Rich, Harold. I'm gonna miss some people. That's a danger of starting to name names, but
you're all right.
There have been so many people that have been part of helping to organize this, and all the competitors, the people watching, that really we do it for you guys, to try to entertain you and just help us get through this tough time. But honestly, I think this esports thing is going to stick around. I think we may be doing this for a while. So yeah, we got our new series that's teed up for January, the off-road series, but you know what? There's going to be more after that. So stay tuned and hope you guys enjoy it.
Yeah,
absolutely.
Well, not only are you talking about next year, but even tomorrow night, we have some really special guests lined up for our broadcast in the Enduro series, including one Mr. Jack Rush Sr. Isn't that right?
Yep. My dad will be on for about 10 minutes. He actually has some really good stories to share. I just sat down with him a little bit today to talk to him about it. And I don't know if all you guys are familiar, but when he sits down and tells stories, it usually gets pretty entertaining quickly. And, yeah, you'll want to catch that. So
definitely. Yeah, we got, tomorrow night we have the Enduro series right here back at Nurburgring, and we will have, as Jack and Joey had mentioned, we're going to have Jack Roush Sr. in the booth just shortly after 8 p.m., and we're going to also have a bunch of other special guests from Continental Tire, Skip Barber, Phoenix Uncaged, the girls that are actually sing our national anthem, so it'll be really cool to get them on, as I said, Continental Tire, Haggerty, Skip Barber, and the girls. So we're really excited to have them on. And we have some really cool feature videos to show you guys tomorrow of our new 511 tactical F-150, which is a pretty neat build that we worked on this past year and partnered with 511 on. So excited to show you guys that. But again, I want to say thank you to everyone everyone here behind the scenes, everyone that's been watching us and supporting us through this series. And we're excited to put on one more big race tomorrow night, and then off to off-road trucks. And who knows what the future is going to hold for ROUSH Performance Esports, but I can tell you it is absolutely growing. We're not going anywhere, and I don't think esports is going anywhere either. It's pretty exciting to see what this has built up into. But again, I want to end on this. Thank you so much for everyone supporting us. Make sure to hit that like, share it, tell all your friends what's happening over here at ROUSH Performance Esports page. And we will see you guys tomorrow night back here on our Facebook page, 8 p.m. for the Enduro series.